and welcome again to another Echocalypse video!
So, today we're updating our tier list for Echocalypse for the month of March after the recent addition of 4 exciting characters, which are Horus, Mori, Dorothy, and Kuri, which I didn't include in the previous tier list. And if you want more in-depth explanation for all of these characters that are in this list, make sure to check my previous video for the tier list that I made before and get all the information about their skills and kits. But before we get into that, let's talk about strategy. Min-maxing your account is key to dominating this game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out as a new player, this tier list will be helpful for you a lot. And for our paying customers, we've got you covered, so you'll get even more value for your investment, and that's thanks for our today's sponsor, Ad Gallery. Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Well, I've got some exciting news for you. Let me show you how to install Ad Gallery and unlock some exclusive perks. First things first, let's get you set up with Ad Gallery. Here's how to do it. Whether you're on Android or using an emulator, head over to your device app store and search for App Gallery. Once you find it, hit that install button and let's get started. Next up, you'll want to make sure that you have the latest HMS core installed. Don't worry, it's just as easy. Head back to your app store and search for HMS core. Once you locate it, hit that install button and you're right on track. But wait, before you jump into the gaming fun, create your Huawei ID if you haven't already. When setting up your account, make sure to select the EU region in the settings. Now that you're all set up, let me introduce you to the Echocalypse campaign. Here's what you get. An exclusive free gift code awaits you in the campaign page. And get a fantastic 15% back in Huawei points on all your in-game purchases. Meaning for every euro you spend, you'll earn a Huawei point. So spend 100 euros and you'll receive 15 euros back in Huawei points, ready to enhance your gaming experience. And don't forget about the VIP program. With this, you can score up to 1620 euros in discount coupons every month. Plus, if you spend more than 500 euros, you can claim your first coupon of 50 euros right away. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to dive into the world of Echocalypse and start reaping those rewards. Simply delete your current game and download Echocalypse from Ad Gallery and you're all set up. Don't worry, you can keep all the progress with GT Arcade or Facebook Plus, and you can pay with PayPal for added convenience. The cashback offer in Huawei points will automatically appear in the payment page so you can enjoy your discount hassle-free. And lastly, a big thank you for App Gallery for sponsoring this video. So, first things first. As you see, the tier lists have not been touched since the last time, so this is what we were expecting or what we're using and what is the top players are using as characters from the game, which from supports to carries to everything else. Now we're gonna make slight adjustments to the tier list and show you what goes with what and what is demoted and what is upgraded, and we're gonna put the new characters right away. So let's get right into it. In the SS category, all of these characters in the SS category are still valid and still playable and still one of the best units in the game. Now, with the addition of Dorothy, Dorothy goes straight up to the SS category. Why is Dorothy so important and what makes her one of the best units in the game? Specifically for her passive and for her ultimate or her skill. So she have good mechanics, specifically if you build her up to 4 stars. At 2 stars she works, she will restore 1 rage to a random ally on the same row excluding herself, and it gets to 2 rage when you get her to 4 stars. Her ultimate is absolutely insane and one of the best ultimates. We've seen plays and strategies that goes around a full team of support, no carries, and only with her buff, your supports will be dealing so much damage that will wipe the teams and keep you surviving. So what does her ultimate do? She inspires all the allies for 2 rounds. Inspire is very big because it's with all the active attacks you deal extra damage of 72% of Dorothy's total damage or total attack. So you build her on attack, this buff will go even crazier and you will deal even more damage, which is really good. But you don't want to build her on attack. Her attack is also okay, and you're gonna be good with the result that you're gonna get because you want to build her on HP. I'll be talking about that in a minute. Now, if you get her to 3 stars, on top of Inspire, you're gonna get a buff of Brilliant Idea, and it activates when an active attack happens a 20% chance to require no rage. So if you're using a skill, it will give one ally this opportunity to get a brilliant idea, and they can use it once, and then when she ults again, she will apply it to a random ally again. So imagine going without no rage, using zero rage at all. So she counters Horus in a sense of way, and rage meta, or rage depletion meta in a sense of way, which makes her absolutely insane. Now at 7 stars, which is a good point for her, she also buffs your team with support for 1 round. Every single ally gets this buff, which is called support, which will convert 50% of their max HP lost. So 50% of the HP that they lost, it will be converted into shield, and it will clear after 2 rounds, which will give you survivability for 2 rounds. And when she apply again her ultimate, if you're playing a team that has units that will buff you with rage, such as Audrey, such as Vivi, Levia, any unit, any team, any unit that you put on the team that will give you rage and keep you on going, they will give that and will help herself also with her weapon. If you have her weapon will also generate a rage for her, so she will keep using her ultimate skill over and over, and you will get the shield over and over, and it stacks up with the shields from her passives. So let's talk about her passive. Her passive is one of the most insane passives in the game, and I will be showing you why. As you see in the replay in the video here, that her passive is stacking up. I was using some test runs, and it will show you how much it stacks up, and it becomes so thick. This is with 0 investment, 0 stars on her. So she gains 3 Inspire at the start of the battle, and now everybody will get her to Augment 6, which is the pivotal point for her. And Augment 6 is every free-to-play player that have been playing the game for at least 3 to 4 months, they will get all their characters to Augment 6. So she inspires, when she gets 6 points of Inspire, so she collects inspiration from the units that you have, and she starts with 3, so she gains more 3. And for every single inspiration, what does the inspiration do? It increases the ally damage reduction by 5% for 3 rounds. For every single inspiration. It means for 3 inspiration, that's 15%. And for the other 3 inspiration, that's 15%. That's 30% damage reduction, which is absolutely crazy. And provides a shield equal to 5% of Dorothy's max HP. And this is why we build her on max HP, because she gets you this thick shield that will protect you the entire time. And the damage reduction, of course, can stack up to 30%, which we talked about. And the shields go crazy and crazy, because every time your ally cast a skill, every single time you cast an ultimate with your ally, you're gonna get that shield. You're gonna get 5% of her max HP as shield, and she will be absolutely phenomenal to protecting your entire lineup, plus buffing your lineup, dealing through damage, which is the best damage in the game for every single ally. Now, the best units to go with her is super mega AoE damage dealers, specifically like Aiken, that hits all the entire enemy, which will apply the true damage on them also, and she does true damage on her own. Fenriro is also a good candidate. Rayon is a good candidate with her, which makes them even shine more and more. And this concludes it for our SS category tier list, and I will be explaining every single character very quickly and very briefly. If you don't want to watch the previous video, it's full explanation in details for every single character. So let's start with Levia. Levia is one of the greatest supports in the game, because she infinitely keeps buffing your lineup with Radiance, which is absolutely insane, and they will get more attack, and you build her on attack set. Now she also buffs your crit rate and crit damage, which is absolutely crazy, and she will give energy to her lineup, which is also insane for a support character, and she will hit all the entire field with her AoE skill. Now, of course, with Dorothy, she will apply the true damage because of the Dorothy buff, which makes them a good pair in any lineup. Chiraha, she's a wonder kid here in our lineups. Everybody is using her for many scenarios. You need her in the Nebulous Nightmare, you need her in the Abyssal Dive, you need her everywhere, because she will revive one unit if they die with her tails, and she will keep everybody above 60% of their max HP or their health, which is absolutely nice. And she buffs your lineup, and she will give you massive thick shields, which is absolutely crazy. Now we have Griff, one of the best, mainly the best carry in the game because of her true damage, and you build her on max HP, not on attack, and she will deal insane damage to your lineups, and she gets the thick shield when she drops below 50%. With Shiraha, she's a great combo as well because she will get her back to 60% and she will give her more shields. Now Vivi is still until now the free-to-play angel, if we can say, because she's a great unit and she's free-to-play, very accessible. You don't need to build her up that much. If you build her up more and invest in her, she will provide you even more with her HP regen for the 3 backline and with the recovery for rage. Absolutely fantastic. And she also buffs your teams and she mitigate damage, which is absolutely crazy. Aiken is an AoE monster which hits all the field and she double taps, dealing true damage, and she buffs her crit rate and crit damage as well, and works with every single lineup, and all of these supports will buff her, so playing all of them with her will absolutely destroy your enemies. Now Pan, one of my favorite characters in the game, and still now very many people underestimate her, and mostly we see the win rate of teams are 67%, the win rate of the teams or the higher players that are playing, even with the deficit of 5 million between each other. If you have Pan on your team, specifically countering debuff teams and stun teams and everything else. Now what Pan does is give you shields, buff your crit rate. She is a hard investment, but she also removes debuffs such as burn, such as anything else, weakness, anything. Absolutely a monster unit. She starts immediately from the battle. Those shields are amazing, and she's a good unit to remove hit rate from the enemy so they can miss in their entire attack. Just what Zawa does in her entire kit, she does it passively with auto attacking the units. Now talking about the S tier list, and the new input which we have is the new character Kuri. Now Kuri is an amazing character, absolutely in love with her art. Everybody loves her art. If you're a man of culture or if you're a woman of culture, you understand what I'm talking about. And now we'll be talking about Kuri, now the new fire queen or the new queen of burn teams, which is absolutely insane. She and Rayon work at the same level. Rayon is amazing and Kuri is amazing. Both of them on the same lineup is absolutely insane. That's what killed actually Ferentia and the using of her, and put Ferentia in the lineup of depleting rage, not in the burn teams only. So we'll be talking about Kuri right now, starting off with her basic attack. So she deals physical damage to 3 random enemies and apply flammable explosive on hit for 2 rounds. On hit, if you miss your attack, she doesn't apply the flammable explosion. And this is so important. The flammable explosion is when taking burn damage, there's a 15% chance to take the same amount of damage of the burn again in the same round. It means if you apply burn to them and they tick once, they might tick again with the 15% chance. Now, if you build her up to 4 stars, she will get it to 30%, which will make it more consistent. Now, Kuri's ultimate is absolutely insane for a burn team. I'll be talking about why. Because anything that deals true damage is absolutely phenomenal. And we'll be talking about that. So she randomly hits 3 enemies on the enemy lineup for each stack of burn. Not because if she inflicts burn, but for every single stack of burn that is inflicted, inflicts additional true damage equal to 5% of their max HP. This additional damage is capped by some certain attack of her percentage. So if you build her more up, this attack percentage will grow even more, and this max HP, the 5% of the max HP will be absolutely phenomenal and will increase if you build her up 1 stars even more. Now they say that it's for every stack of burn, so not only more 5% HP, but if you have like 3 stacks on an enemy, that's a 15% damage to their max HP, which is absolutely phenomenal. You want to bring her up on her attack, so you need to build her on attack set, not on a HP set. So if you get her to 3 stars, Kuri will also additionally, the additional damage will be capped even more, and her for each enemy that is affected by burn, Kuri deals extra true damage equal to 30% of her attack, which is absolutely crazy. So on top of the burns that they will deal true damage to the enemies, she will even deal true damage if they have burn. So double the amount, and she doubles the damage of the burn with the stacks with her passive or with her auto attack, which is absolutely crazy. Now on 7 stars, this attack will have, or her ultimate will have, an additional 50% crit rate and 50% crit damage, which will make her a monster melting the enemy lineups, which is absolutely crazy. So her passive is one of the cutest passives in the game, and we see the new addition of the pets for the units that will help them in the game. So I'll be talking about her Augment 6. At the start of of the first 3 rounds, Kuri will randomly summon one furry to aid her in the entire battle. The entire battle, not only for one. So every single round, she will get it at the 3 rounds because there are only 3 furries. So when they are summoned, each furry restores 4 rage to Kuri. So if she summons a furry, she will restore 4 rage, inflicting burn on 3 random enemies for 3 rounds, which is absolutely crazy, makes her more consistent with the burn. When a furry is summoned for the first time, boost the damage reduction for all allies for 30% for 2 rounds. It means every single round she will gonna give this one furry, which will give you a 30% damage reduction. And this furry comes in same round with the other furry. So now a furry, next round a furry. There's a 2-round duration for the buff, so it will get it to 60%, the next round for 60%, the last round for 30%. So you start with 30%, then 2 rounds with 60%, then 1 round with 30% damage reduction, which is absolutely crazy. And as we said, you can pair her up with different characters in the upper tier list in the SS category, such as Dorothy, Pan, Vivi, and they will reduce even more damage. Now these 3 furries are Furry Robin Hood, which increases the crit rate and the crit damage, Furry Zoro, which if you attack enemies with 50% more HP that have 50% more HP will increase the damage by 10%, and Furry Mowgli. And Furry Mowgli is interesting because it will increase the damage by 10% for the cases that are defeated by Kuri, and the remaining burn on them will be transferred to another character or another enemy on the lineup. And these burns are really massive because they deal insane amount of damage. Now right at the S category comes Horus. Horus is an interesting character which you always gonna need 1 copy of, especially if you're going to Nebulous Nightmare and Abyssal Dive and other places to actually defeat enemies and delay their ultimates or their skills using rage. Or if they start immediately at the battle, someone like Aiken, you can put her in front of her, or Kiki, and shut down their ultimate at the start of the battle. Now she have great mechanics. Let's talk about her normal attack. So her normal attack, she deals physical damage, which is absolutely crazy for a single row of enemy, and will inflict 1 debuff for certain on them. Now, these debuffs are either Bleed, which is absolutely crazy because it ignores shields, or Armor Break, which will make them take even more damage, or Seal. And Seal is amazing, but it has a 10% chance. So, 10% chance if they have Seal on them for their entire attack to fail. So they will stand idling and not do anything, which is absolutely insane and crazy. Now Horus is one of the characters that doubles her damage, and she will always double her damage because she will always have more rage than the other enemy on the lineup. So what she does with her ultimate is she will deal insane amount of physical damage, and then she has a 100% attack boost to the targets that have less than 4 rage. It means at the start of the battle she will deal double damage immediately to the line in front of her, which is absolutely crazy. This is why we were talking about Kiki and Horus, and many people were telling me what's the difference, they start the same, they deal insane damage. Kiki can be shut down by Horus. Kiki, if she loses HP at the start of the battle, she will lose all her passes, while Horus, it doesn't matter what she have, she will always reduces the rage and counter these units. Units that doesn't require rage are the units that can counter Horus or stay on the lineup and deal even more damage. But they will all take the damage since she will 100% remove the rage, and she will have more rage than them if they have less than 4 rage, and they will always almost have less than 4 rage for a certain period of time. Now on 3 stars, there's where she goes crazy because she will start dealing damage for any unit that is carrying a debuff. So you can play her on burn teams, you can play her on stun lock teams, or any team that deals armor break or bleed, especially for the bossing teams, because she will deal even 30% increased damage at 3 stars, and on 7 stars this 30% will increase to a 100% of damage. And these skills have 50% additional attack bonus if she's at 7 stars. It means she will increase her damage. So right off the start of the battle, you're gonna hit a massive hit, double damage your amount, maybe even triple the damage if you get her to 7 stars, which is absolutely insane for this unit. So her passive is one of the most amazing passives in the game because she will increase the attack of all of your allies for the end of the battle by 20%, which is absolutely crazy. And this is on Augment 6, of course we're talking about Augment 6. And at the start of the battle, she inflicts trip on the targets opposing her, on the row opposing her, which will end and will last until the end of the battle. Now Strip is absolutely crazy because every time before she goes and do her attack, she will remove one rage or absorb it from the enemy lineup and take it for herself, and this will make her good with her ultimate, which is her ultimate. Whenever the enemy is low on rage or less than 4 rage, she will deal even more damage, and she will absorb an extra rage if she is on augment 6, because before that she will get only 1 rage, but at augment 6 she will get 2, which is absolutely good for her, so she will be consistent with her damages. Now coming in as the best DPS for single target and the best unit for bossing is Mori, and I'll be talking about Mori and explaining why she's the best DPS for bossing because of her mechanic. Now we'll talk firstly about her passive at augment 6. So she will increase all allies attack by 20%, just like Horus. She's a great buffer for the lineup and for the entire battle. And at the start of the battle, she will inflict annihilation on all enemies. Also on bosses, this will work even if the bosses don't take any debuffs. This will be inflicted because it's not only a debuff, but it's a skill of her passive. And her 3 first active attacks ignores the target's damage limit. So what does that mean? It means when you're fighting somebody like Dina doesn't die. Dina has a limit that she will not take extra damage if she goes below 40% of some certain HP. Mori can ignore that and kill her and one-shot her right off the bat. So this is one of the great skills to ignore other mechanics of the game or other units, and will keep her on the top of the one-shot DPS team of a single target. She hits backlines. This is what is good about her. So you can counter other units with that. If they have them on the backline, you can put her, and she starts with no rage, which is absolutely crazy. We'll be talking about that. So let's talk about her normal skill or normal auto attack. So she hits a backline unit with an auto attack, and then she will deal extra damage to them, or the same amount of damage, so double the damage to them if they are affected with annihilation. And she will be affecting them with that. Now on bosses, it works as a normal attack, or it works as the annihilation debuff works as no debuff as a normal trigger skill. But versus cases, it works as a debuff. So you can counter this with using somebody like Pan at the start of the battle to deny that, with Dina to cleanse that if you have her at 3 stars or more, which is a really good mechanic to defend against Mori. If she has annihilation on a unit, you know that when she attacks them, she's gonna deal double the damage, which is absolutely crazy. Mori's ultimate is one of the special ultimates in the game, especially when you improve her leisure center. She will start immediately from the start of the battle with 0 rage, or if she has 0 rage, she will have to rage of course, but if she has 0 rage, she will start with her ultimate no matter what, and she will hit that backline or the boss that you're attacking. And the thing is about her, if she's having an annihilation on that enemy, she will double the damage and she will increase her damages as well, which will make her one-shot that unit immediately. And if this attack or this ultimate defeat the enemy that has the annihilation, she will launch an extra attack dealing damage to the next unit or the next boss that will come out. If you one-shot that boss, she will deal an extra damage to the next boss that spawns after that. And now if you get her to 7 stars, this skill will have an additional 100% crit rate, which means she will crit no matter what you do. Unless they have 100% crit resistance, it means there's a chance for you to not crit, which is not the case in these characters. Now, we'll be talking about Niz, and we'll be talking about the leader. Now, Niz goes up to the SS rank. Why Niz is so important? Niz is one of the most important units in the game, specifically because of her speed freeze functionality. Freeze is like a stun, and of course if you play her with Wadjet or with the other units that will deal the same amount of stuns like the leader, they will stun immediately your lineup, and they will the enemy will miss their turn. It means no rage recovery, it means no damage taken by them, and she starts right off the start. Like at the start of the battle, she starts immediately if you have her augment built up. So she's one of the characters that's super important for your Nebulous Nightmare, for your Abyssal Dive, for your Shattered Cosmos. If you're having a deficit and fighting units or lineups or enemies that have more attack power than you, you can stall them, let them be frozen, and hit them more up. And especially with the team of Stunlock with the leader, Niz, and Wadjet. Wadjet will extend the duration of the debuffs. This is what makes Wadjet even more crazier, because you can play her on burn teams. Niz is an absolute must-have if you're a free-to-play. She helped me a lot in the story and everywhere, even in PvP when I was on low deficit to defeat other players that are higher than me. Now the leader is the same, but the thing with him, he doesn't start with his stuns already or with full rage. He needs to accumulate rage. This is why we play him with Audrey and with Vivi, with units like that, to give him rage randomly or in the backline, so he will stun, and he can stun up to 4 units. And this, if he stuns, actual stun, these stunned units will miss their attack, they will not increase their rage, and they will completely not deal damage to you, which make him a crazy unit. He's the best free-to-play unit in the game, because right now I'm free-to-play. I have him at 7 stars fully max, which everybody will have after you clear some chapters or you reach a chapter 100 in the story. Now, of course, there's a talk between Dina and Nephthys. I would say they are the same rank, they are the same characters. Nephthys is more for offensive, Dina is more for defensive. And Dina, I slightly think that she's better in the long run than Nephthys, unless you are a power creep powerhouse. Why? Because Nephthys, if she overheals, she deals insane amount of damage. She can one-shot a unit with her overheal, which is absolutely crazy, knowing that heals can crit. But Dina, she's a defensive and debuffer. She removes debuffs, she saves your lineup, and she keeps herself surviving and doesn't go below some certain HP with her passive. Now, to be determined, the units that will be upcoming in the game. Now, we know Guinevere is broken in the other versions, and we hopefully we're gonna have her soon. We have also a collab that happened before, which is the Overlord with Albedo and Shaltir. We don't know if we're gonna get it soon on global. Hopefully we're gonna get that, because Albedo is one of my favorite waifus in anime. And the other units, we highly anticipate that Taisi will be upcoming next. Maybe Yora, maybe Nile, nobody knows exactly who's gonna be dropping soon. So these units is what I got that are still in the game, that will be released. They will be 100% released later in the game, so they will be in the to be determined. So we're gonna talk about them later when they drop out to the game. Now let me know what's your opinions of this tier list. Do you think it's understandable? Do you think that you have a different idea? Let me know that in the comment section. And thank you for App Gallery for sponsoring this video. All the links in the description to how to download and how to use it are all the information that you need, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.